Okay, here we go, people. Debut EP from Convexity on Disciple. This is amazing. Massive day for underground bass music, underground dubstep in particular. Massive day for colour bass as well. Here we have 5 tracks totaling 18 minutes. So, you know, we got some stealthy cuts here. We got the longest one at the beginning, and then a load that are pretty much 3.5 minutes and over. The EP is called Transmissions. Again, it is on Disciple. This is a huge deal for an artist like Convexity. So yeah, 5 tracks. Let's just kick on with it, shall we? The opener is called End All, Be All. Ooh, hello Chromeo. Hello Chromeo. Oi. Ooh. Oi. 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 Duh. Yes, I love those little... So far, very nice and funky, juicy, colourful. Very kind of Chromeo flavour there, and inspired. It's all kind of tying together so far. Sounds nice, sounds fruity and colourful. Ooh, we got a little solo going on here. Yeah. Oh, no. Do you really think I'm just gonna let that one slide? Do you really think I'm just gonna let that little... Do you really think I'm not gonna rewind that? Rewind on that... There's a definite harshness underpinning all this really radiant, vibrant colour lying on top. Nice opening, and I think that is gonna set a bit of a precedent for how the I think that is going to set a precedent for the EP overall. Loads of colour, bit of like gnarliness kind of underpinning it, like I said earlier, providing that foundation for all the more fruity kind of flowery stuff to have it say. A lot of jazz appeal there. Really like that technique and the heaviness where it feels like it's continually kind of going back on itself and like rewinding, like a contrast there. And a juxtaposition between the track obviously moving forward, but sounds making it feel like it was kind of going in reverse at some points, which was a really cool idea. I think the vocal at points, you know, kind of Chromeo inspired. I like that. I like the whole vocoder effect. I think that's quite common in colour bass as well. A couple of points where it comes off a little bit cheesy, just a little bit. Especially in the introduction when it first comes in. Just got that little bit of a cheesy flavour about it, but I do always think with a vocal like that it just takes a little bit of getting used to. It takes a couple more listens and then you're like, right, I can feel the full flavour of this. But yeah, when you first hear it there, for me, just like there's a little bit of cheesiness about it. I think some people might think a lot, like almost too much is going on at points. It feels a little bit clustered, a little bit too much going on in certain moments, but I quite like that. It's like, you know, throwing stuff against the wall, and it does stick for me. Like, it's, you can hear each sound quite clearly. It doesn't sound like a massive noise. Putting down a bit of a marker for what's going to follow. And next up on that note, we have Freak Week. Biggs in the chat. Biggs in the chat. Give me that garage. Give me that garage. 1, 2, 3. Give me that garage. MC Naughty on the mic. I'm not just doing this for the bit, but that's 2 out of 2 in completely different ways. Like with the first track, it was that snare. That snare was just like, I have to hear that again. But this one, that was completely unexpected. Like I didn't see that coming at all. So threw me big boy time. Rewind on that biatch. Make the snare changes. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. On the one hand, loving how much is going on, how many different directions it's taking you off in, but then at the same time, wanting more of a solid idea to run with. A little bit of a shuffle approach, go on then. Oof, just a really wild collection of translucent feeling, fruity, colourful sounds, you know. And it's an interesting one because it all feels, you know, really ordered and structured, but at the same time very random. Going overly for something that is, again, a bit more conventional and like a simple, straightforward running kind of concept or drop or idea, and then having against that kind of combating it, just feeling, yeah, quite arbitrary and random and like kind of ordered chaos in a good way, if you know what I mean. But some amazing sound usage, and the snares are a joke. The snares and the range of them, the constant changing, dipping in and out of one to another, is all seamless so far. Completely effortless and fucking fantastic and great, to be fair. But the middle track is Sycophant.
I'm sorry for leading you on for all this time. I just need some space to think about things.
I can hear that trickling in. I can hear it trickling in. I'm really sorry to have to do this again, but Convexity's making me do it. I'm sorry. But we go again. Rewind on that biatch. A little lower octave. Always gonna get me. Ah! Go on. Yeah, this one is definitely more order than chaos, because you've got that motif, that strong idea permeating the entirety of that drop. You know, even when the more jazzy stuff comes in and it gets a bit funkier, you've always got that digging sound, like dick, starting with the more higher pitch, going lower pitch, providing that difference, that convexity. Yeah, you know what you're doing here. You know what you're doing. Am I at a romantic dinner or a jazz night or something?
What you said about leaving you alone, I'm afraid I just can't do
that. It's a wibbly old wibbly wobbler. Wow, again, those kind of rewinding reverse sounds. Yeah, I had a few people in the chat saying before it came on, this one's my favourite, I love this one, and I would have to concur so far. I mean, who knows, over time, I might end up enjoying the first two tracks more than this one, but for now, hearing this EP, hearing these tracks for the first time, that one is the one that I think I can make sense of most. It's got that motif just repeated perfectly, and, you know, not overdoing it with that motif. You know, we get to a point basically with the track, with the heaviness, the drops on that tune, where it plays more of a kind of bit part role, but it's still there, kind of ever present in the tune. As more kind of influences come into the tune, it always finds a way of trickling back in, and that is the exact kind of thing that gives a track replay factor, in my opinion. Just having a little thing that you can, you know, latch onto and remember, and that is catchy, and that is laid out perfectly. The sound is there, the arrangement is there, just really good, and all the sections surrounding that as well just support that motif exceptionally well. Very good as well that track is in the middle, providing a kinda, you know, center point for the rest of the EP. But now we have the final couplet for the collection, and the penultimate track is called Alice Ring.
This object alters the characteristics of other quantum entities, either when they move through it or merely when observed through it.
Gotcha. Is there any more information? Anything else you can tell me? Okay.
Is so unique in that it essentially reverses the charge of objects observed through it.
Okay, right on, dude. Right on.
Let's see what this thing can do.
Oi, yeah, go on, go on. Ooh, nice, nice. This is definitely the one most rooted in heaviness so far, in like darker sounds, you know. There's still a lot of colour and lightness and brightness to this tune, but the darker side of Convexity's production definitely shining through more there than on any other cut we've got so far. It's another interesting one, that, because it's got so much colour and flavour, but it still feels a little bit like it doesn't have quite enough of that, if you know what I mean. I just don't think it quite pierces through enough. It's like the darkness of his sound takes over in quite a big way. And the funk is there, but it just doesn't quite have that presence in the tune. It feels a little bit too kind of subsidiary in a way, if you know what I mean. Which is weird to say, because, you know, we have the midsection as well, which is fantastic and does play its own role in the tune. But in the heaviness, they just got swamped out a little bit, in my opinion. I did really like those mini sustain sounds, though. I think they were fantastic, that we got in the development of each drop. Like those a lot. There's a now we have the closer for the EP, which is called Centuries. Oh man, that's fun. This is like more old school Convexity, I would say, like Rushdown Convexity, you know? The flow in this is absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational. And especially, by the way, after my gripe about the penultimate tune that we just heard, as we can hear right here with this midsection, the funkiness and the jazz influence here is absolutely sensational. Okay, okay. Ooh. Interesting sound choice here. Not to say that it is his best style, the best iteration of the Convexity approach. That more funky, bouncy, almost got a bit of a, you know, glitch. I mean, obviously it's not glitch hop, but it's got more of like a hop and a skip vibe about it. That to me is what I kind of remember Convexity most, first getting into his music many years ago now, what, like 5-6 years ago maybe. But that kind of stuff just like screams Rushdown, late 2010s color bass. Big fan of that. Really nice layout of the percussion in particular, but the sounds that follow with that, different flows and how they were kind of managed and how you go into one and out of another. Really clever with all the placement of every single note there. Not really any putting feet wrong. Well, actually maybe with the second drop. The main sounds that we're getting there are a little bit odd. There's definitely something about those sounds that feels like it's taking a bit of flavour and energy out of the track. That's what I mean. They're a little bit odd, a little bit like scratchy and weird, but again, could be a thing of just getting used to them. But overall, one listen through, enjoying this EP a lot. Loads of colour, loads of flavour, different kinds of dubstep that we're getting there. I'd say that the fourth track is the only one that I'm a little bit puzzled about at the moment in terms of the balancing of different kind of styles and different sounds and different tones and moods. The first two as well, there's a kind of interesting clash between the ordered side of his production and the more chaotic side of his production, but I can see that those tracks I'm actually going to enjoy quite a bit. Hearing them back again, and the middle tune and the final tune I'm enjoying a lot and I'm liking a lot, and they provide a good kind of anchor for the rest of the cuts on the EP to function. So yeah, just looking forward to finding out more about all the details with this collection when I go back to it. Great as well, I think that Disciple has taken this EP on, that it's on Disciple, a label that, as we know, has become kind of renowned for its overly heavy dubstep in the last few years, but having something as overtly colourful, colour bassy, and just fun and joyous directly on the surface is great. That's going to be my thoughts on that one. Convexity Transmissions EP, Disciple Records.